They last met in 2003, and the Auburn Tigers won the game 13-9. What's in store this Saturday at a whiteout at Happy Valley for Penn State at Auburn? Let's look over it. Let's talk about this exciting matchup. Let's get it. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard here with Ballard Sports Media. I wish I could do transitions on here with my intros like I do with my video editor app. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard here, Ballard Sports Media, coming at you with a recorded video here on StreamYard for Week 3 of the college football season. And what better place for College Game Day to go this Saturday morning than Happy Valley in State College, Pennsylvania, Beaver Stadium, home of the Penn State Nittany Lions. Yeah, Roll Tide. Love you, Nick Saban. Oatmeal cream pies all day. I'll say that. Anyway. Now, Auburn and Penn State, two very historic programs. I mean, I could fill up a week's worth of videos talking about historic wins and achievements by both of these football programs. They're huge. I'm an Alabama fan. Now, Penn State, Alabama was a big rivalry way back when in like the 60s and the 70s. It was Joe Pa and it was, Bear Bryant. And it was only really a rivalry because they were literally the two best head coaches at the time, right? I mean, well, two of the best. So you got to throw guys in there like Bobby Bowden, of course. But there was no actual hatred between Penn State and Alabama. There was a dispute, goal line stand game, national championship, 1979, to cap the 78 season off. There was no hatred or anything. Anyways, that's besides the point. Penn State and Auburn. You could take a guess as to who I'm going to pull for in this game, considering I'm an Alabama fan. I hate Auburn. Respect for the fans. Don't hate the fans. I hate Auburn. I can't stand it. They beat us every other year at Jordan-Hare, and they act like they're better than Alabama. Again, I'm getting off track. I could go on and rant and rave about these programs historically, how I feel about them. But let's get to the topic at hand, folks. Let's get to it. Penn State and Auburn. Right? Overall, historical programs, right? I mentioned that. Hold on one second. I forgot to add. So, you look at this game. It's a 7:30 Eastern kickoff. This Saturday, September 18th, 7:30. It's a whiteout game in Happy Valley. They're filling the stadiums up. They're getting prepared. They're getting ready. They're going at it, right? When you look at it, you see Penn State is favored, 62% chance to win over the Auburn Tigers, who have a 37.9, round it to 38% chance to win this amazing setup football game. I say set up like this is really cool that we have this, right? I got Auburn fans of the family. Of course, if you guys are on here regularly, my grandmother that's on here, at least commenting, is a diehard from State College Penn State fan. So yeah, this is gonna be a game. This is gonna be a game. I have to work Saturday too, so I think I'm gonna miss most of this game anyway, which really sucks. But work and everything, school, it comes first. But I love you guys. Y'all know that. So, look, you look at the quarterback battle. It's Bo Nix and Sean Clifford. Bo Nix, 29, 39, 5 touchdowns, 338 yards compared to Sean Clifford, 39 of 62, 477 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, when you look at it like that, that's Auburn is really heavy on the run game. They really are. And don't let this here fool you, right? It might look great on paper, right? And I'm not here to dog on Auburn or Penn. I'm not here to dog on them at all, right? 61 points per game on average this season so far for Auburn. I love their offense. It's amazing. Their O-line is really, really good. Better than Bama's. They have on average, how they only given up 5 points a game. It's amazing when you look at it. Bo Nix, again, has thrown for 383 yards. Backup quarterback TJ Finley out of LSU, who transferred this offseason, comes in. He's got 4 completions off 7 attempts for 88 yards. Not too bad. Got a touchdown. Bo Nix has only taken 1 sack. Now, then again, look, nothing about this right here. I don't want to say it's not impressive, but I mean, look, let's look here. Last 5 games, forget that. Open the season, Auburn blew out Akron 60-10. Okay. Akron's not a bad team, but I mean, compare them to an SEC team like Auburn. Yeah, I mean, come on. They shut out Alabama State 62-0. I'm not going to dog on Alabama State, but Auburn's just that much better than these teams. Truly, when you look at it, this is Auburn's first test. Penn State's first test came early. 16-10, great defensive game. They won on the road in Madison against Wisconsin Badgers and Coach Paul Chryst. Number 12. Okay. Penn State moves up all the way to number 10 now. They beat Ball State handily 44-13. Same score as the Bama-Miami game. Overall, you look at the money line and everything. I don't even understand the money. I don't care about the money line. The spread, it's not even a touchdown. Penn State by 5. Over-under is set at 53. And if you ask me, great quarterback play, great receivers on both teams. You look at Auburn. Of course, Bo Nix is the key quarterback. Backup TJ Finley. Tank Bigsby seems to be the guy at running back. They got Cedric Jackson and company at receiving, who has 7 receptions so far this year for 90 yards. When you look at it here, let me see player stats here. Cedric Jackson, Demetrius Robertson, I should say, transferred from Georgia, 6 receptions so far, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's the lead receiver. There's only been 6 touchdowns, receiving touchdowns at least, for the Auburn Tigers. Takes Bigsby has none, but Sean Shivers has been a key back to catch out of the backfield and everything like that. Overall, look, on paper, it looks a little bit worse than it is, quite honestly. I mean, passing yards, 383. They have been running the ball quite a bit from what I have seen from Auburn so far these past 2 weeks. The defense is pretty good. Zacoby McClain has 17 tackles. That's the most by any player, at least, on the team. Only 1 interception by the Tigers this year, Roger McCreary. So keep an eye on all of that. And, what Auburn might do, right? So how do these teams win, right? Well, first off, let's go over and we look at Penn State and their stats so far this season. A little bit different, but in some ways a little similar too. Sean Clifford is the key guy. When you look at that, obviously he's the key guy. He's their quarterback. He's been their quarterback for past couple years. Both of these quarterbacks are draft eligible, by the way. You look at it here, 477 passing yards. Noah Cain comes in at sophomore running back. He's got 28 rushing attempts, 117 yards. He's only getting 4.2 a carry, honestly. Longest rush is 34 yards. That's not too bad. He's got two touchdowns. overall, I'm not going to go through every single stat. Y'all get it. I mean, there's some playmakers, right? But there's also some question marks on both offenses. I'm not here to throw anybody under the bus. I'm giving Penn State the benefit of the doubt just as much as Auburn. They are talented, but there's a lot of young players. And at the very least, there hasn't been much room for too much explosiveness. I mean, yeah, they scored 62. Auburn did on Alabama State or whatever. That's Alabama State. Again, not going to throw them under the bus or anything. They're a good football program. But, I mean, compare them to Auburn. You know, Auburn's historically really great at football. They are. You know? They beat Akron and Alabama State, right? At Wisconsin, 16-10, defensive type of game for Penn State. We looked at that. Ball State, a blowout. Really? That's defining Penn State? No. This game right here, folks. This game right here at Happy Valley, right? This game is defining, right? So how do these teams win? Forget about stats for a second, right? I mean, they both come in 2-0. Penn State won 16-10 over Wisconsin. They beat Ball State in week 2, 44-13. You know, Auburn beat Akron 60-10. Alabama State 62-0. Auburn does have great defense. I'm going to give them that. So does Penn State. And both of them so far have shown explosive offenses. But again, outside of Penn State and Wisconsin, like, you're going to give them credit because of what they did to Ball State. And are you really going to give much credit to Auburn over Akron win and Alabama State win? Again, they're not bad programs that they're playing, but compared to their level, it's not like a game against Florida, Georgia, Bama, or if you're Penn State, it's not Michigan, it's not Ohio State, it's not, you know, I mean, give credit for the Wisconsin game, but I mean, still, Penn State is a 6-point favorite. The over-under is set at 53 points. In total, again, the over-under is like the total combined score of the game, right? So how do these two teams match up? How do they win? What do they got to do to win? We've looked at the, you know, Sean Clifford's the quarterback versus Bo Nix at Auburn. Okay. Tank Bixby's the key running back for Auburn. He's great. We've looked at the stats. What do they got to do, though? Is this a shootout? Is this a defensive game? Is this going to be like some weird, like, Alabama LSU game a few years ago with the 9-6? Or is it going to be somewhere in I don't know. But I got what Penn State needs to do and what Auburn has to do to win this game. And I kind of summarized it on these banners, but I got some other key points. But I think the main focus for Penn State, if you go into this game at home, you got to have the pass rush to stop Bo Nix. Brandon Smith, Ellis Brooks, Tariq Castro-Fields came back. He's a corner. Get some good secondary play, to cover these fast, speedy receivers that they have, right? You got to go out there. You got to cover. You got to make some plays when you look at it. Ultimately, you got to cover Demetrius Robertson for Auburn. He comes in from Georgia, I mentioned. Kobe Hudson's been a key guy. Shedrick Jackson's been the main go-to receiver. He's got 7 receptions for 90 yards, averaging 12 yards a catch. Has yet to get a touchdown, though, right? So Penn State needs some secondary, like Joey Porter, Castro Fields, guys to step up overall, right? And the same thing for Auburn. Like, Penn State's got some playmakers in there. They got to have their secondary ready for what Penn State's going to throw at them. You know, Roger McCreary is a key guy that I've heard about the past few years for Auburn. He's from Mobile. He's a senior corner. He's 6 foot, 190 pounds. Sammy Cohen is a safety. There's a few guys, Jordan Davis, A.D. Diamond is a freshman that I've heard about at least. I don't know if he's really got any playing time. Let's see. Overall, Owen Papo is a key linebacker. Nehemiah Prickett for Auburn is a corner. There's a lot of names on here to get familiar with, at least if for this matchup, that you might hear names being called all throughout the night. But again, getting back to what Penn State needs to do, they just got to have some pass rush. They got to pressure Bo Nix and his decision making, because Bo Nix is not bad. He's not. I like Bo Nix. I think he's a good quarterback. I just think he's systematic. I just think if he has the right O-line and the protection, so he's not running for his life, he can step back and make a good throw in the pocket. He's a pocket passer. Nothing wrong with that. He's a systematic quarterback. Nothing wrong with that. Penn State needs pass rush. If the pass rush can slow down Bo Nix and question his decision-making and stop the run game with Tank Bigsby, they'll have a great game, right? I think this is one of those. I don't know if I want to say the first to 30, because I hear that a lot about college football games, like first one to 30 points is going to win the game. I don't know about that. I don't know if there's a set standard for what point limit you got to hit minimum to win the game. I don't see a lot of explosive offense, right? But I see a little bit of it. And I don't think it's going to be like the LSU 9-6 game years back, or like anything such as like I don't know, like what was the goal line stand game was like 7-0 Bama over Penn State. It's not going to be like that. But I don't think it's going to be like a big shootout like the Georgia-Oklahoma Rose Bowl victory, right? Penn State needs pass rush. They got to stop Bo Nix. Sean Clifford is the quarterback. He's got to be on point, connect to his receivers. I think it comes down to that. I think that's a given when you look at these teams. It's like, yeah, both teams need some offense and to connect with the receivers, you know. Sean Clifford's the key guy. Noah Cain is a junior from Baton Rouge. Give him the ball, have him run it up the middle. He's done good the past couple years. When you look at that, Jahan Dotson is a senior receiver. One of the better guys there is that I've heard about. You got John Lovett, who's a senior running back. Well, I haven't really heard that name. I don't know. I point out seniors. You got Jahan Dotson, I mentioned. Who's that? Winston Eubanks. Parker Washington. I mean, there's a few key guys to look out for. Benjamin Wilson comes back for Penn State. Look, just if the O-line for Penn State can step up and it can deliver, right? If they can protect the quarterback, give him time, give Sean Clifford some time to buy in the pocket, connect to his receivers, and they can go, like, you don't got to go 90 yards downfield, but let's put a scenario. You're at your own 40. Okay. 40-yard line, you're down maybe, I don't know, let's say the score is like 10-0, right? You just haven't had any offense so far. Your defense gave up a field goal and a touchdown. You need a touchdown. You want to score. It's like a third down, big play. Do you trust Sean Clifford to have some protection for the O-line on a big third down play? You're marked down in like your own 30 or 40-yard line range. Can he throw a bomb deep? He's got to be able to do that. Throw the deep ball. Read the secondary of Auburn, because they're going to make some big plays. Auburn is known for getting picks. It has been known for some good corners in recent years. The Buccaneers actually have a couple with like Carlton Davis and Jamil Dean, and there's been a few key guys. Some big pass rush too. Auburn's like a defensive type of program when I think about it. And that's saying a lot, because Gus Malzahn, the previous head coach who's now at UCF, is an offensive guru, right? He's a big offensive guru. And He's recruited well at Auburn, and he was even the offensive coordinator when they won the title in 2010 under Gene Chizik. But yet somehow they still they recruited great on both sides of the ball. It wasn't like top 10, 15 classes, but I mean, they still would recruit some great players and put some good schemes and games together, right? Penn State needs the pass rush, right? And I think it goes both ways, but the main thing for Penn State is you got to stop Bo Nix and what Tank Bigsby and everybody's going to do on offense. Auburn has to deliver. I mentioned Tank Bigsby, right? O-line needs to step it up a bit and protect the quarterback, protect the running back, right? Protect your guys. Shedrick Jackson is a key receiver. That's going to be a key target for Bo Nix. I mean, I could go down the list. Demetrius Robinson, I mentioned from Georgia, who transfers in. Cam Newton's little brother, Kalen Newton, from Atlanta, Georgia. He's a senior receiver. They got Tyler Fromm, who is Jake Fromm's brother or whatever, who's tight end. I don't know. I mean, but they got weapons, right? If they have, but again, Penn State's going to bring some pass rush, bring some heat. If they have the offensive line protection, and they can protect Bo Nix, let them buy some time. Because, see, that's how Bo Nix works. You let them buy time in the pocket a little bit, give them a little bit extra time to kill. Oh, there's a guy open. I think I can make this play. Throws it deep, and it's like a 50-yard touchdown. Right? I mean, it's that simple. Can they do that? Yes. I don't think it's going to be a big shootout. I'll end it on this note. I don't think it's going to be a big shootout, but I don't think it's going to be like I mentioned, 13-0 when Georgia was leading Bama at halftime. I don't think it's going to be a 9-6 game of the century like we saw years back. I don't think it's one of those defensive old school type of games. But again, I don't see a shootout. I think it's close. And again, this is in Happy Valley. This is for Penn State. This is it, right? I mentioned. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and I have a little bit more to say, but I'll go ahead and give my final score prediction. I got Penn State winning this one, and I got them winning 27-23 over Auburn. Give it a 4-point game, maybe a late stop, or maybe they get that last-minute touchdown or big play or something, and it sets them up or whatever. It might be a late touchdown, go-ahead score for Sean Clifford in the offense, or the defense shows up. Look, if we're packing stadiums this year, which is what I'm hearing, and it's Happy Valley, Happy Valley, first off, a wideout at Penn State, I want to see in person so bad. It is on my to-do list. Check it, right? I want to see it so bad. I want to experience it. Because, man, even on TV, even on the television, you can hardly hear the announcers because the crowd gets so loud. That's the coolest environment. It looks awesome. It's like a bunch of snow in a football stadium. The wideout. It's incredible. But anyways, I got Penn State winning this. It's going to be a big environment. It's going to be a great matchup. I think College Game Day is going to State College this week too. And again, like this is a it's not a rivalry, but it's two very historic programs. We know what Auburn's had in the past. They've won 2 national titles in school history, the history with Alabama, and you go back to Pat Dye and everything. And of course, I don't want to hear any crap from you guys about Joe Paterno this, Joe Paterno that. He was a great head coach. He's the winningest Penn State coach. He's one of the winningest football coaches, right? Penn State is historically good, right? Has national titles, right? So, anyway, but this is going to be a great game. Again, final score, Penn State 27, Auburn 23. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today and watching this. Keep your head up. Jesus loves you. Y'all know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe right here to Ballard Sports Media for more sports content. Go check out the website, ballardsports19. .wixsite.com. I almost send my email there, but still, if you ever have any questions, you want to ask me questions, reach out, say hello. Either hit me up on Twitter at Ballard Sports or email me, ballardsports19@gmail.com. Love you guys. Jesus loves you. Keep your head up. God bless. And as always, folks, from a Bama fan, roll Tide roll. Love y'all. Ballard Sports Media. Check it out. Y'all have a good one. Roll Tide. Woo!
I'm not going to. So quit